Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for sticking around and waiting. We do apologise, of course. We can't really help the technical difficulties, and that's exactly what Storm Riders have been having. Unfortunately, some internet problems have led them to forfeit the first map, being their actual map pick, Overpass, and we were sitting here saying that's a decisive map for this game, and it's gone. It's now 1-0 to the boys on Absolute, and this is a great opportunity for them to move forward.
And there's no lost momentum for either team, I guess, except I was saying that Storm, they would have had that momentum going into Mirage. Obviously, we thought they would take Overpass. Unfortunately, they didn't get a chance to even start there. They've just lost the map completely. So going into Mirage, there is no momentum going either way. So it's pretty much anyone's ball game, and one map is all Absolute have to win to get into the grand final.
One map is all it takes for Absolute at this point. 2 for Storm Riders after some small technical issues, but we are getting underway with map number 2, Mirage, for the IEM Sydney qualifiers for the East Asian region. Now, we were saying that this is going to be a close one, but things have started to change a little bit. Momentum might not have been lost, but surely there's got to be a little bit of tilt in this.
Well, yeah, you know, we'll see how that looks. You know, what makes champions, right, is the ability to push through that mindset, to continue on. You know, it's going to have to be a reverse sweep for Storm if they want to have any chance to make it to the grand final. But now we are going to be getting live. Absolute here, taking the CT side, as Storm Rider have chosen to start on T. What do you know? So one man taking utility there on NCL, a smoke, a flash, and a HE. Of all things, as well as Absolute. They've just got Crow playing the support role with the smoke and the kit.
Yeah, this is somewhat expected from Storm Rider, considering they are so heavily invested on that T side in terms of their win-loss kind of percentage. They will be getting comfortable knowing that they do have that side to pick. They will be able to progress as needed. NCL, as you were saying, playing merely as water boy here, should be able to set a smoke up. Generally, we see the one smoke head across towards CT. Doesn't necessarily mean we will, but look at this flank coming in. That's huge right now. Absolute, so much information. They're all stacked across towards this A side. This is dangerous for Storm Rider. They don't know what's about to hit them. They have not even made a step towards this A side. No information gained. He's all the way behind him. There's the bomb dropped, and that is how we start the lower bracket grand final.
So the bomb will be retrieved by Storm Rider, but the man advantage now for Absolute with so much information. 40 seconds remaining in the rotation, may just be about to come out. Tarkej, though, holding strong, can't get the free kill. Managed to find a second, as getting it the third, not able to connect. As we are going to see Mara manage to retrieve that bomb. News as well, looking to go for the rotation, and the CT's leaving the A site. They are calling the audible. They're going to head over towards mid. And you see 9 has gone down in window, but now the bomb should be able to be planted for free over at A, but they've got no information at B in Storm Rider. They're going to get the free plant. Out of all of that, you did not see this happening at least. And now this is another opportunity for Storm Rider to get back into the round.
Just wouldn't read about it, to be honest. A series of unfortunate events so far for both teams, but at the very least, Laz is there. Safety net, finds the kill. 4 players left to try and retake it. It's going to be near impossible for Noyes, but he is one of these members that we know can really turn up the heat. Still trying to take some tags here. Death by 1,000 cuts and no further. Laz will pretty much be the deal sealer in the round, but that push through T-Spawn, massive.
Yep. Essentially the nail in the coffin there for Storm Rider, and Absolute on the CT side taking the pistol. This is just what they needed to start to close out the map from the beginning of the game. So Storm Rider, obviously we were talking about them having a stronger T side than CT, so the T side should favour them here. Like, I'm thinking that they might need something like 8 to 9 rounds here to be able to, you know, carry it on into the second half. Absolute though, off to a great start on their CT side.
And now they're going to be careful, of course, of respecting that kind of push coming back through from Absolute. Sure, they're going to expect it, but this buy coming through has worked wonders for Storm Rider. They do get the boost up. Barcy, oh my word, that was a little bit too close. They just bump right into each other.
Bars just jumped out the window.
Hang on.
How did he do... Okay, so he's gone through the window after bumping into the man up in window, and now we are going to see Sogu heading into jungle, so the timing might actually favour him here, as it looks like. There you go. Tarkez just not checking his corners, not showing those fundamentals, and Sogu finishing off the second round. We are going to see an AK as well as an M4 saved into the third. So Storm Rider hitting back straight away on the second round of the half. Now into the third, we are going to see Absolute also forcing straight back as well. And they will have less of a buy though, as Storm Rider, obviously, they got that bomb planted before, so that allowed them to go for the hero AKs in the previous, and it managed to end up working after a little bit of a kerfuffle there around window.
Yeah, kerfuffles all sorts. It's a little bit of a interesting start to map number 2 as we decide who might be heading to Sydney. Just a relatively easy opening there for Sogu. Still the player up in towards jungle. They're not really lost too much in mid as they hadn't invested there, Absolute. They will just stick across with that buddy system towards A main, and it should relatively be easy for Storm Rider from this point. I mean, yes, you've got Crow on that UMP, but almost with how split those CTs are across towards the A side, it's not really looking that comfortable at the moment.
It's hard to be comfortable this early in the game, though. You know, with the early pick from Storm Rider, Absolute will have to try to make a play. Looks like that's going to be towards A main. Good information gained already from Bas, but we do see the bomb making its way out to the B side, and it looks like they are going to have to play rotate. Bit of a retake situation as well. Although with that, we see Storm Rider going for the rotation themselves, and this might go straight into the trap of Bas, although there's going to be many of the Ts here to go for the trade, and I'm not even sure what's going on. You see NCL looking to come up con late on the flank. Takesh, should be spotted. Mara as well going to be dinked down already. The two-man setup here at A main starting to be broken up. Is he aware of the second man? It's actually going to be Mara to take him out. Laz, though, decent amount of damage, traded out, and in a 4v1, Takesh has got a huge job ahead of him, but he's coming in from A main as well. And Storm Rider just do not seem to be aware of this flank. Although looking the right direction, but not for long. Takesh takes him down. It's going to be 9 on the wrong end of the stick there. The Deagle, is it enough? He's actually got himself the AK, but he opts to continue with the secondary. As Storm Rider take the lead, 2-1, starting off strong on the T side.
This is one of the most bizarre starts I've ever seen to a game. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
The fake toward B then, with no commitment, no information in A main, bamboozled themselves, and so tricky they trick them. You know, it kind of works out regardless of the stack from Absolute. Very interesting starts for both T and CT. Neither really willing to call the bluff too early. They just want to hold on to their own horses and, you know, not really invest too heavily either side. Just wait and see what the opposition is willing to do, and it seems as though Storm Rider are kind of playing into Absolute at every corner here.
Yeah, well, speaking of playing into them, they're going to be walking into the 5-man stack, it seems, at the moment. Bomb's still very far away from that A site, but Storm Rider might just get the first pick. There you go, Laz, he's going to fall down, as does Rita, who's slow to retaliate. No one looking for some more here, making his way through this site. Not going to clear out Sandwich, although that is going to be a free frag for Takesh. Great trade there from NCL, though, as we see Storm Rider put a third on the board, 2-round lead over Absolute. And I thought Absolute were going to have a better start to the game than what they did, but Storm Rider just hitting back, and now the round loss bonus starting to favour Absolute.
Nothing more than a bit of an eco there. Still, it's nice to see the methodical take from Storm Rider, not really giving any unnecessary kills away regardless of that. Towards middle of site, there's 3 towards middle. Look at this heavy presence from Absolute. And it's been punished. That's the worst part about this story right now, is they've been absolutely caught red-handed trying to fight mid. And Storm Rider have invested all 5 players. They have not allowed any thought of Absolute taking control of mid. And that is, again, a very unexpected start, I must say. I didn't expect this from Storm Rider.
Look, it's very hard to take mid when you've got light utility, and the boys on Absolute just had nothing to work with there. 2 men going down on short now, and it's all up to old mate Takesh, who's going to fall as well to Mr. Mara, who gets the bomb planted over for short there, and last man alive is going to be Bas over towards the A site. Just an AUG and a dream, and he is actually going to get the frag there onto Nuez. My God.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. Matt, my God, what is going on? Look at this again. Oh, Bas just taking a couple of kills with him at the very least. And Okay, we do pull the Molotov out there. And surely he's not going to go ahead and collect 4 kills. No, it looks like Nine's not too happy to face that. And, well, with the economy, you can kind of understand why Nine's not really overly keen on taking it.
Yeah, I think running away there with the AWP is going to be the best option for old mate Nine. And that is a 3-round lead now for Storm Rider, who, you know, they're looking formidable, especially earlier on in the round. But where is this from Bass? It needs to be earlier on. He can't just wait till he's saving to start getting these frags. Use that aim, use that mechanical skill earlier on to help yourselves get a few more rounds up on the board.
At the moment, we have a small little tack pause coming in from Absolute, the team that are heading into this map 1-0, technically on a default. They get it because of the forfeit needed from Storm Rider due to their own issues, but it hasn't been a powerful start from Absolute. This isn't the Absolute we have come to know and love, actually. You know, these players, they pack the heat. They've got the firepower, but it's just not converting so far. And whether that may be just the start of the game, whether it's just some nerves, just, you know, warming up technically. It is an hour after our start time, and oh, there we go. That's a bit of luck. That's exactly what Absolute needed. They're going to be able to find a 2-for-1 special on the back of Nine's free double agent work. But it is an eco, so don't get your hopes up.
Good damage done considering an eco. 2 rifles managed to be retrieved as well. Or 1 rather, that AWP on the Rito, but can he make work of it? Manages to get the leg onto News as well as Tarkej here in market. Is he going to be able to deny that bomb plant? The smoke at window will allow him to start to make his way out of the doorway. NCL getting the information note. 3v2. Absolute now looking just to save the weaponry. Retreating from market as Tarkej goes silent, making sure Storm Rider don't come and hunt for those weapons. As looking at the economy, you know, 2 rifle save will definitely aid them going into the next round. Into the 7th, it's going to be. Although, was that, what? Rita? The collat? How? What's happened there? The AWP's gone down, and Tarkej is potentially going to find Mara, although too little too late. Can he get the angle right at the end? What do you know? Mara just not hearing the drop there at mid at all. The bomb explosion shrouding the sound. And that is going to be 5 on the board for Storm Rider, but great economical damage done by Absolute, who are now maxed out on the round loss bonus.
Yeah, they've kept them true to their word. Right, you've got Storm Rider that could have gone completely the other way, right? We've seen 4 deaths in the first, 5 in the second, and so complete rebuys twice. We could be looking at 10k for most of them, but this looks like a bit of a faster A hit, something that changes the speed a little bit, but Laz is ready for it. He finds the first, and now we can start to play as a bit of a portion to that stride on A, but he gets taken down through the box, through Ticket, and that is just an entry that sometimes it does favor. It all quiets down for a second. We'll look to take that A site. Problem is the utility's starting to run very low.
For both sides, though, Absolute do have some for the retake, but the bomb is yet to make its way to site. Rita's still here with the AWP, slowly but surely working the angle. Is he going to go into the crosshairs of Mara? He does, but he connects through triple. But it's not enough to take Mara down, so it's still a 4v4 for the moment. As now, Absolute, they're not really repositioning Crow. Takes down overboard short. Be Bass with the 2k, taken down himself, so it's back to the 1v2, all up to Tarkej, who has been looking a little bit skew-if, you know, has had some sharp moments, but this has to be one of those. And bomb planted at triple will allow Tarkej to get a bit of aggression, though. Although, headshot through triple straight away. Sogu down to 10 HP, manages to retreat just in time. Not going to be spotted by Tarkej. Now he has to find the second man. Mara looking to play clutch now, not showing face at all. Just hiding in Pal in the corner. Potential for a crossfire from Storm Rider as well. Tarkej making his move slowly onto site at triple, working every angle. He has only half the information he needs. Taps the bomb. Oh, has he spotted him? No, Mara! Although, what a shot from Tarkej! And it is going to be brought back for another round win for Storm Rider. The Sogu posts aggressively just in time. Great trade and 6 rounds now on the board for Storm Rider.
They've turned up to play.
Yep.
We were questioning whether we were going to see the 2-0.
We were questioning whether we were going to see them in the server.
Yeah, that's true. that is more than true. We were questioning everything. All our possible knowledge. We really didn't know what was going on for quite a long while there. But there is no doubt that Storm Rider, they seem to be a little bit of Absolute's kryptonite. We saw it earlier in the upper bracket yesterday, and we're seeing a repeat of it right now. So it's just going to mellow out for Storm Rider as they do set themselves across towards that B site. Bit of aggression coming through from Absolute as well. Will be punished. Mara just waiting with the open arms of that AK. And So Good goes back in towards unders. This is looking so good for the T side, but that's the other portion, Mac. A very heavy T-sided team.
Now Storm Rider with the mid control can pretty much go wherever they wish. No one up on short though as they start to put Sogu up in con with the top con smoke there. Planting him in there as a bit of a trap. Now we are going to see Reader as well rotating back to the B site, second guessing himself, but Sogu can get all this information close enough to hear those footsteps surely. As Storm Rider now starting to make their way through apartments. Mara leading the charge. Very deep on short there. Crow with just a UMP. Might not be able to utilise that at mid to long range. But he does start to close that distance as well. Storm Rider grouping up. Fixing up the spacing. But minimal utility to play with and take the B site. Sogu starting to make his move as well, but he's going to be spotted by Laz in just a moment. The MP7 isn't going to be enough. There's the 2-tap. Push comes out towards the B site. Crow going to be stuck on the short pillar, but the wrap comes out. He gets shut down, and just enough time on the clock to get the bomb planted. 2v4 on the retake. Absolute looking like they aren't even going to bother.
No, the Storm Rider have really thrown a spanner in the work for the CT's side. You know, we've almost seen Storm Rider throw everything but the kitchen sink, and it's paid off. It has. We've seen fast rounds, we've seen slow rounds, we've seen full executes, we've seen dry peaks. In the first 8 rounds, Storm Rider have literally changed it up in every single encounter. And it feels like Absolute just can't get a read on it now. We thought, you know, first couple of rounds, geez, it's looking good. They're getting the right calls, maybe a couple of demo reviews, maybe understanding how they take it. But from here on out, it's been the 1v1 battles going the T-sided way. And the problem can really start to come when we see the value of the economy for Storm Rider really take off here, because yes, you've got the bonus of the economy, the loss bonus for Absolute, but it's nothing compared to what they're starting to mount for Storm Rider.
Look, they need to start doing the damage. Obviously, it was happening earlier when they were trying to save the weapons, but unfortunately, you need to do it earlier in the round. You need to get those rounds on the board, especially CT side here on Mirage, of all things. Although, you never know, Absolute could come back and have a huge half next half as well. Storm Rider, I said that they needed, you know, 8 to 9 rounds here on the T side for them to have a chance on Mirage, but it looks like at the moment they are probably going to find more unless Absolute can find something, dig it up out of the depths and bring it back. Not sure if it's motivation they need, maybe a bit more confidence as well, but they are having a very rough start to their map pick, and that makes me think, well, if we go to Inferno, they are going to have a troubled time.
Yeah, that's right. Both teams, just for everyone's knowledge, are actually T-sided on Mirage. They have the greater percentage swung towards those rounds, but look at this, a bit of a mid push coming in, some information, but again, just a fast execute on towards this A side. Not exactly, you know, straight off the dot, but it's pretty much been calculated. The Molotov in towards the Palace position has completely halted the push coming through, and that is massive because of the double boost. Laz has been able to pick one off for free. They then fade away into the midst. The bomb is not on site yet, and there's barely any utility left. One smoke on Namara, but we saw this happen in the previous round, and they still made it back.
Taking contact as well. Reader still very aggressive. Look at that, the big flank coming in all the way, managing to upgrade to the AK. Him and Crow now looking to find a 9, hearing the footsteps over towards Tetris. And they're going to put the pieces together as 9 falls down. Crow flies away, and that is finally a second round on the board for Absolute.
It's something that very welcomed for the CT side at this point. It's been a bit of an uphill battle at the very least. And they are starting to kind of find their footing a little bit more, starting to regain the small momentum lost. It all comes down to the first couple of encounters. And, well, Stormrider have really been coming out on top of those in pretty much every round bar the last. Now, already on that A site. Going to try and take it with a bit more force this time. The smokes come out and they will be able to... No, they won't. What's going on? They're still finding the kills. Laz through the smoke. And 9 on the flank was only able to find the one, but Crow... He is just holding them at bay, waiting for that second teammate. Reader now with the AWP up close and personal. No! Oh, how does he hit that? That's the no-scope! He hits it through the wall. Surely that does not happen. What a play coming through from Reader. We were sitting there, you know, kind of saying, well done to Noise, but my word, brings it back 2v3. And it looks like they're going to have to save again, Mac.
How has this situation even occurred? Oh, the utility usage and the fundamentals being shown by both teams is, I'm going to say, experimental. Yep. It's a little odd to what I'm used to seeing around here. But, you know, 2v2 at the end, both teams retaining some rifles. Starting to build the economy as Stormrider, they're still 6 in the lead. You know, absolute. They have to come back and start to work their way in the game. But now, they aren't going to be hard reset, you know. With the new economy, they still have that round loss bonus worked up. 2 rifles are saved. They should be able to drop. I just got to have a peek of the economy, but there you go. Full buy coming out there for absolute. So let's see if Stormrider are ready, if they've read the economy. They are going for the momentum shift over towards the B site, though.
Yeah, Tarka's going to have to hold on. What a nade coming through to slow down the push. He might have bought enough time for Crow to get into position, but unfortunately falls with no sort of encounter, which now makes the job that much more difficult. Crow will be able to isolate one of the members and find a free kill, but Nine's going to go aggressive with the MAC-10. This is exactly what the MAC-10 needs to be doing. Just constantly moving in and out of the lines of sight, constantly causing problems. Crow might have a small read on where 9 is. Maybe some information being thrown in. Oh my word, what a flash coming through. It just doesn't catch the side of Crow, but the problem still remains. He's still sitting there with the MAC-10. They can't find the kills, and so what a play coming through on top of Van. The quick peek, Laz is left. And Mac, none of these rounds are really... They're calculated, but it's still shocking.
Yeah, Stormrider, you can see, they just keep changing up what they're doing. They're not letting Absolute adapt in any way, shape, or form. And it seems to be just working wonders for them. Absolute as well, you know, they're trying to play passive, trying not to fall into any traps that Stormrider are setting. But at this point in time, it's just not working. They might need to start getting aggressive again. You saw earlier they were taking the risky pushes into like a main and getting that information at least when there was a bit of util thrown on the other side. And that almost worked for them. It was just they had bad weaponry at that point of the game because they had no economy at that point.
It's been a struggle, I think, for Absolute to even, like you're saying, get a read on how Stormrider are playing. And Stormrider, to their own credit, have been doing exactly what they sort of started to in the first couple of rounds, which is just throw everything. Right? Every time they're pouring onto a site, there's so much utility coming across with it. And whether it's experimental or not, whether it's working out or not, it's still causing problems for Absolute. Now they decide to go for a bit of a B split, but Peter's there to try and trade out Tarkage. That's what we needed. Yep. Bomb now down in apps. This becomes a lot harder for Stormrider, near impossible. But they've still got enough time.
Look, a two-piece for both of the B-site players there. That is exactly what Absolute needed to pull out of the bag. And they know exactly where News is as well. 3 men here in market. The cover was there. He managed to get the headshot onto Crow right at the end. But it was, you know, good economical damage in the end. At least 3 rifles taken out of the hands of Absolute. And that is going to affect the economy going into this round. Only 2 rifles dropped. I think someone's going to have a hit in the utility department. And that might just, you know, help out Stormrider in the end. But that's a 3rd on the board for the CTs. But is it too little, too late? I think it is.
I feel like it's going to have to be at this point. The economy that was starting to build up for Stormrider it was immense. Now we're starting to see it dwindle away, but still the full buy comes back in. They've just got so much... It looks comfortable from Storm Rider at this point. And the one round they split, they take the bomb into apps and the double push. Like you're saying, they need to get a little bit more aggressive here, that CT side. They do it perfectly, and they find themselves to a piece, which you could not ask for more from the two B-side holders. Now it's going to be a bit of a tussle in towards Snipers. What's going on there? There's two apiece in there. What, Matt, what are we seeing?
Oh, the double boost, mate. It absolutely has worked out. Although the A-site hold looking pretty good there. Bomb has to be retrieved. It's out in the open. Tarkesh not aware that he has the angle, but he's made so much noise going over towards Con. Surely 9 is ready and waiting for the push at the smoke. Is Tarkesh going to go the whole way through? Might be able to isolate the angle there up to stairs. And 9 has no idea. What's going on here? That's a free kill for Tarkesh. Has 9 reacted? There you go. Starting to go wide, making sure he has eyes on the cross there. Good crosshair placement. Will hit the head and take Storm Rider the double digits. But that was a little bit odd. Maybe communications over sound, or we do know Storm Rider as well. They are playing in an internet cafe right now. So that can also have an effect on your communications. It might be very loud over there. You never know. We're not in the situation they are.
Yeah, we can't really speculate too much, but we could definitely say that it would not be easy at the very least. But it kind of worked in their favour there, right? Because he kind of feels like he's clear to move on toward the side. He does still check the angle, but 9's just holding on too sharp. And I feel like that's been the huge factor for Storm Rider so far. Everything that they're doing is working, but also the 1v1s. Noise has just taken down 2 members. Now they are on pistols, but he's still being able to cause problems at every which turn. There we go. Finally, Tar will find one, but before you blink, Mac, done. B-side gone.
Going to get caught with the reload, though. Manages to get the gun out in time. Regains himself. Goes to the peak, picks up a 4th for the round, eating up those eco frags. 11 rounds on the board for Storm Rider as Absolute are going to try and force up into the final round of the half. But my gosh, it is looking very rough for Absolute going into their T-side.
It's not exactly what Absolute were expecting, I feel. Especially considering this is their map pick. But my question is, they've already played Storm Rider on this map, and they've already lost on this map.
Yeah.
Why are we still picking Mirage? Why are we still picking into the favoured hand of Storm Rider at this point?
We did touch on the fact that it is going to come back to the veto on how it ends up playing out. This could have been a 2-0 if Storm Rider got to play Overpass, but unfortunately they weren't in the server. But they're definitely here now, and they're definitely here for the reverse sweep, looking not to drop a map, but they are part of as Crow and Rita just holding down the B-bomb site as Absolute salvage a final round in the last of the half. 4-11 is the halftime score. Storm Rider with that 7-round lead. And they only need 5 on the CT side to close out the map.
You kind of have to feel like Absolute were a lot more comfortable on that B site just then.
Yeah.
You know, we saw 2 rounds of the 4 that they won basically on the back of the 2B players. So those anchors across there are doing their job. They're both finding the kills and slowing the pushes down, isolating members, kind of, you know, just picking them apart as they come through. And well, the adaptation was there from Storm Rider. You can't ask questions about that. They were definitely throwing everything possible. They were swapping every which turn, and it made it near impossible to read. But the problem is when you fall back to basics, it is just a dog-eat-dog world. Shooters beat shooters.
I think what is actually going on is that Absolute, it's their map, but they're not playing their game. Storm Rider are just in charge of everything that's going on. They are just doing what they want and making it work. And, you know, feeling comfortable doing it, that definitely aiding the confidence. And now they have a huge round buffer as well between, you know, the scoreboard there. So we are going to see Absolute on the T side going for a single support. Crow going with the double flash and a smoke as Storm Rider. They are going to have NCL with the kit. And now looking for that mid control. No one at A. They have done their homework. Absolute looks like they are going to a default pistol that might have been seen before. Look at this setup.
Yeah, it's almost scripted for Storm Rider at this point. They've got 1 flanking, 2 that are going to be able to hold. They're just going to be able to bait. That should be 3 kills. But the flash is huge from Crow when they find 2 on the entry. That might have been the deal sealer in the round. The flash was perfectly timed and perfectly placed. And now the retake for Storm Rider. It was looking all so promising. But Absolute, maybe it's not Storm Rider that have done the homework. Maybe it's Absolute that are figuring out all the little nitty gritty, the crannies that, you know, Storm Rider like to hide in, and that's a solid pistol round, not losing a single member on Absolute.
Wowzers. So that shows the importance of utility. Beautifully placed flash, just cracking open the B site. The bait and switch setup, both up on balcony as well. Could have worked so well, but it just did not in the end. So, absolute. Both pistols. So they've taken both pistols and they've only got 5 rounds. That is questionable. Look at the... Is this a 5-man push? No, it's a 4-man push going into A main, just being completely shredded up. Sogu gets gifted an opportunity to do some more damage. Although Mirage goes down as well. It's all up to NCL in a 1v5 with just the USP and a dream. No rifles have been dropped. There's even just, you got Tarkej there going for the USP. Only a USP as well, looking to save that extra economy in case of an upset. And this is looking like Absolute put a 6th on the board, guaranteed. NCL may be able to find a rifle, maybe an SMG. And I hope it's Tarkej, just gives him the USP back as well. He's dumped the utility. He is surely going to go on the hunt. That's $1,000 down the drain if he does die as well.
Yeah, it's the question that's going to be asked. Do we not?
You've got the full armor. You may as well save that into the next round. NCL, all he can really do here is deny extra money on the board for Absolute.
There's not really much point in NCL even still being alive. I would dare say he's staying true to his purpose so that they can actually just sit there and talk about what's going on and maybe look at a different way to tackle the next round. That would have been a big kill. That would have been a huge kill if he could have taken down Bars. But
could have.
Doesn't work out, Mac Daddy, and we're back on into a full buy for Storm Rider. You'll be missing a piece of utility here, there, and everywhere, but the weaponry is out.
I'm not sure about that. Maybe, they're favouring the firepower over the top of the utility. So you got CB4, that Absolute just made that utility work wonders for them, but Storm Rider, they are just going to have the... I guess smokes for counter utility, but other than that, you see Mara's gone down early at Con. Just spotted out and shut down by Laz, but Tarkej and Bas opening up on both sides. And yet it's back to a 2v5. How has this happened? I'm not too sure, but 9 is solo at A, and you've got Sogu, who has also not been spotted over on B side, up on that bloody ledge.
That was 15 seconds, Mac, and the round was done and dusted. This is the aggression and kind of the unexpectedness of the Asian CS region. We see it so often. You even right at the top, the Titan Tai Lu leads the charge in that area. When you speak to the international teams coming from Europe and North America and even the Australian teams, they all say the same thing. You cannot expect what they're going to do. You can do as much VOD review as you want. You might be able to, get the hint of what's going to happen off a smoke, but it's so random, it's so sporadic, and it's what really causes a lot of problems for some of those bigger teams. But it's fun to see it when it comes at a head. When you've got two of the better Asian teams versing each other, and it's a nice little full circle of sporadic plays and unexpected things, like the fact that the round was done within 15 seconds from the CT side. Not very often that you see that on a full buy.
It's quite odd, the dynamic of Storm Rider's CT side, considering how aggressive and I guess they based a lot of their strats on team play in the first, just going for their splits, looking to trade it out. They're not doing that on the CT side. They're essentially just holding solo lines and occasionally trying to go for trades, although belated. And that can definitely, as you can see, come back to haunt you if you're not doing it correctly. So we are going to see Sogu just managing to save the rifle. Absolute, looking to just build their economy more so than try to get rid of another rifle out of the hands of Storm Rider. But with just an M4 hit and a couple of round loss bonus, I'm not sure if we are going to see a buy here.
Maybe that's what they need. Maybe they just need a round or two with just a handful of pistols, start to build that economy a little bit, start to play around with the buys and whatnot. Absolute's default, you can't really fault it at this point. Seems to be working out for them. And again, we must enforce the fact that both of these teams are T-sided on Mirage. Both of these teams prefer the T side over CT. So I would dare say that this is what we're going to see. Storm Rider maybe pick up a couple of rounds on CT, but I think they're going to find it hard to close it out, Mac.
What if the situation is Storm Rider really, really, really cannot hold on the CT slide and Absolute go away for the 2-0? That's, I'd say, unexpected.
It would be heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking for Storm Rider, you know. Just if you got to the Internet Cafe that little bit earlier, you could have had a second opportunity. Well, you live and you learn, and unfortunately that is what Storm Rider have to do right now. And Sogu going solo, completely dry at the top of mid, only going to find the end of the AK of Laz there. Crow as well, finishing off old mate 9 with the HE, and all of a sudden, just like that, it's back to a 5v2. As Bas as well just holding for that aggression at Pal. And NCL, he's over on the B site, starting to look for any aggression coming through CT as well. News, he's got himself the Deagle, hits the shot. Sharp Gamer looking for another noggin. Can't connect just yet. Gifted opportunities. Not sure what Absolute is shooting at, but they cannot connect. Eventually managing to hit their shots. Crow as well finding NCL. And that is going to be an 8th on the board for Absolute, who are now only 3 behind after starting off the half, 7 in the deficit.
Yep. Mac, I'm lost.
Mirage isn't this T-sided, Manic.
No, not at all. But again, this is the complete... It is almost a meta for the Eastern Asian region.
Okay.
Or for the Asian region.
Look at this, though. We've got a mid-push coming out. How much utility is going to be thrown, I'm not too sure, but they managed to make it work. Laz this time couldn't hold. No second T, and that bomb is in a rough situation, but fortunately for Absolute, Storm Rider, they have gone passive rather than pushing through again. So they finally got a man advantage. They finally managed to make the aggression work.
If you think about it, this is the way Absolute were winning their rounds as well, which is random aggression with no real tell. You know, no signs of aggression, just doing it and finding free kills. And it's absolutely massive. The problem is, he's just completely... Bas has just completely opened up the A site with little effort. There was almost no resistance. I don't even think there was a bullet fired at him. That's how quickly he got it done. And now they're going to have to try to retake. Still a 2-2 split for Absolute. A minute left on the clock. And Mara re-peaks the angle in which Bas is already holding.
Yeah, look, that was a rough decision-making, you know, by Absolute there. 9, though, he's got himself the AWP and another frag. Bas swinging solo, but with that, it isn't actually going to draw the rotation from NCL, who's just crouched next to the van looking for the angle. Oh, his head is going to be spotted, but NCL comes out on top, expecting another util thrown. So one of the 2 remaining Ts has been given up. He's worried about a flank coming in, unawares of the position of the second man, even though a flash came out over apartments. So too little too late. Crow, he is going to get the angle onto NCL. 9 falls to Rita, who had the great cover over towards Market. And that is a 9th on the board for Absolute. 11-9, Storm Rider still in the lead, but yet to find a round here in the second half.
Yeah, biggest problem in this round specifically, the economy's not there to buy. They're going to have to pistol it. They don't have a choice. If they buy here, they're going to stuff their economy for the next round. So there you go. You're just going to see a handful of upgraded pistols, a set of armor on a handful of players. But this push into top mid, it's worked once, and that's because you sent 3 players there. Why are we still doing it in the 5th round when it's not paying off? This is now the 6th round, in fact. And we've probably seen that top mid push, I would say 3 times.
Yep.
No flashes.
3 times at least in this half, maybe 4. And it's worked 1 out of those 3 or 4 times, which is not a good return rate on your investment of dry pushing up mid.
Nope.
Not at all. More aggression shut down there towards A, and now you can see Sogu last alive over towards the B site. He's been spotted, and he managed to soften up Absolute, so there is an opportunity for maybe a rifle save, but as you were just looking at, the economy there for Absolute is skyrocketing, and they should be right even if they lose a couple of rounds.
They've got that reserve, the American reserve sitting there. 10K on every single player.
At least.
That is so problematic, it's not even funny. There are 2 rounds at least that they can fully invest in before they need to go to an eco. And
3 rounds.
3 rounds?
Yep.
This round, the next one, and the one after. So, you know, like, they're in the driver's seat.
Yep.
For Absolute to kind of fall off the rails now, it would take a monstrous kind of upset from Storm Rider to get back into the hands of control.
Look, someone's cut their brakes, and there is no chance of them stopping at the moment. Once again, a bit of early util used by Storm Rider, and you can see NCL once again re-aggressing into apartments, maybe able to find some form of contact. But with the deep smoke, you can see Absolute are fully aware that the CTs might be getting aggressive, and that's all they've been doing. So Absolute playing perfectly given the situation. NCL as well going to be burnt out. Gives up his position as he takes that damage. He's stuck in the open, not too sure what's going on. Another Molotov comes in. He's been told to stay in the corner. And there's, you know, a bit of action that's happened over on the A side as well. A 1-for-1 trade. It's Absolute now. What are they going to be able to do? Takej making so much noise. Comes to the pre-fire. NCL manages to come out on top. Has he spotted the second man? He does. Goes for the re-peek. Hits the 2-tap as Crow falls down. And it's a 3v2 just like that. Can Absolute bring it back? They've got so much time to play with, but the two remaining Ts are completely split up.
The beautiful thing for Absolute right now is the fact that if they take a couple more kills away, it might not be the round win. You're just waiting. You hate that. There's a little moment where your heart flutters for a second. Everyone watching is like, please, just kill him. Now, what I was about to say is if Absolute can walk away with a handful of kills there, perfect. If they can walk away with 4 kills, leave 1 alive, the buy's going to be absolutely woeful. Problem now is 3 players left alive. They're going to get the complete buy on every member on the CT side. Full utility, full economy. And there's a really good opportunity now for Storm Rider to back this up. But that is the real thing. They have to back it up.
Yep, and I'm not sure. Good. Okay, I thought 9 was going to push mid solo with an AWP again, but he's just playing from the bottom of con this time, not getting spotted. He's given up his position, though, going for the pot shot. Off no information at all. But he's what? He hit Rita?
Yeah.
Wait.
Repeat.
Oh, my golly gosh. I'm not even following what's going on. This is too crazy for me, mate.
No, and that's the beauty of this kind of CS. This region gives us so many moments, especially as commentators, to be like, hang on, wait, what? Why? How? Hello? What? But it's beautiful because we see so many highlight plays, whether it's technically, you know, basic or not, we still see so many rounds swing the way when it definitely shouldn't.
Look at this as well. 9, he's gone from the bottom of con all the way over to Ticket. It looked like Mara, he wanted to go to the B side. He's come back. He can't make up his mind where he wants to play off of whatever information. But he's making so much noise on the rotation. Surely Absolute have heard that one. But they don't seem to be reacting, just holding at the bottom of con, waiting for the bomb to make its way through Pal as well. Oh, it looks like it's going to be an A split at the end. I don't think there's too much of a change in the direction they're going to head here as the bomb is invested for Pal, who's in a great position to go for the retake. But he's going to give himself up. Out in the open, manages to connect though, so it's all for the round. And that is going to be 2 in the row now for Storm Rider. 13 on the board as Absolute just looked very lost there in the 23rd.
Just have a look at the money on Absolute. This is the problem when you're Storm Rider and you're not keeping them honest in any of the rounds that they've taken from you. And it's really the crucial, the vital importance that you have to put on CT side of it. Yes, you don't technically have to win the round. Like, obviously, you want to win every round, but it's the small damages that you can do to the economy. Because Absolute, they've still got another round to buy after this. It is absurd, the fact. That's 3, maybe 4 rounds straight they've been able to buy for. Questions need to be asked, but not just yet. It's 13-10. Storm Rider finally getting some rounds on the board in the second half. Making their way through towards Abs now. Absolute are just slowly starting to spread their wings and take more control. Flash is now coming on over. It's going to be the utility pouring on out. Jail is going to be held as well as, well, Window Booth. And Rita doing work with the AWP to trade back. It's the 2v3 though. It's going to be a lot harder to hold with that bomb.
Not too sure whose job it was to clear the guy out from jail, but they didn't do a very good job given the flash was already there. Rita, though, holding strong with the AWP. Second frag for the round, looking for more. Getting aggressive, though, rather than staying passive. Manages to find the first. It's going to be Crow, leaving Rita last alive, going straight through the smoke. Rita spotting him as he had his eyes on that position, expecting the aggressive play style, the sneaky push. And that is 11 on the board for Absolute, who are finally, back in the game. It looked a little rough there for a moment. 2 rounds in a row that Storm Rider put together. But Absolute back on the board. We'll see if they can carry on with the momentum. And the economy there as well is looking very rough.
Look at this aggression coming in from... I actually thought it was an 8 main, but I realised he's actually underneath Balk. Interesting. So Storm Rider have slowly changed it up. They haven't gone as aggressive as what we've used to see them in the early portions. But the one thing that remains to be almost consistent, Mac, is that push from 9 into mid.
Yeah. And, you know, he's been feeling it with the AWP for the last couple of rounds, so you can see Absolute as well, just playing very far back, just holding that default, letting the clock tick down, looking to punish aggression, which has been what Storm Rider have been using to get into the game. But this round, they're not doing it, so I'm worried that they are not going to be able to do it. I don't really think we've seen Storm Rider win a retake situation. It's more just holding before the bomb gets planted.
Yep.
So Absolute now looking just to throw these Macca's smokes over towards the B site, looking to sell a bit of a fake. They've got some extra men coming over here to do the job as well. Util coming out. Is it going to draw the rotation? Nuez, he is second-guessing himself at the moment, moving around under balcony, but the A anchors doing a great job. No one going for the rotation, and Mara as well, drawing first blood with 30 seconds remaining on the clock. Tarkesh as well. It's actually going to be Bust to take down Nuez, knowing that the AWP is over towards Ticket. Oh, what a shot as well.
See you later. That is a massive kill coming in from the CT side. That's the problem when you get timed on that AWP. He goes for the repeat. The quick scope just going to miss. But now all CT members are in the one position. It's a one-dimension retake, but they're still holding strong. Rita finds a trade after one kill. The bomb does go down, but what a shot coming through from Rita. Almost demolishing all members of the CT side. 9 now in a 1v1. Bast goes aggressive for the angle, swaps back to default. And the old bait and switch still in. 9, did he see him spot towards triple? They both get caught out in the open, but Bast is watching the angle, finds the kill, and brings it back again. But a 1v1, it's still the nail biter, Mac.
I swear that they knew that there was 3 at jungle, and we saw Rita after getting the ridiculous shot on the man at con, that flick, you know, very lovely to watch. But then the decision making to solo peek in a 2v1 and give the CT a 1v1, that is never on. You should not be doing that. Maybe, you know, there's always the element of surprise that can work, but in that situation with that weapon at close range, mate, come on, you've got to be kicking yourself there. You've got to start to build that economy. The more weapons you save in the round, you know, that is going to be done by teamwork. You're not going to be able to do it all on your own. And I hope that Absolute can realize that and start to close out this match, because, you know, Storm Rider, they're ready and waiting for Absolute to start to make some mistakes.
Now, attack pause for Storm Rider there. We'll see if it actually does pay dividends. Sometimes we see it's just the momentum switch that we need for that CT side. They're actually going to go ahead and stack across toward B. We've really only seen one fast B play, so they do just sit one right inside market window. Molotov to try and flush one of the players out. He'll be caught by Laz as well. Big kills to come through. Although 4v5, there's not so much of a problem just yet. Once things start to swing back, that's when we need to be careful. Nuez at the moment going for a re-peek in towards middle. Flash was there to support. Found by no one. So still pretty much radio silence for Storm Rider at this point. Blackout in total. And they've left the A site all up to Nuez. He's still a little bit unsure on what they want to do, where they want to go, but Absolute are just playing this perfectly.
Was Mara with the AWP before, with that play from Ticket as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that man is now on a UMP and cannot use that range again. Because the NCL as well, giving up his position, just fired a shot with the AK. Not sure if that was intentional or not. But now making their way up through apartments. The Absolute going to crack open the B site. Crow with the entry onto NCL. Now Molly over towards market. Util going to be used. Bomb might actually go down, but there is the cover here. A Ticket. Oh, NCL, he's going to be spotted. Oh my god, all the way out. The bomb not going to be... Oh, it is planted completely on the ground there. Rita holding strong with the AWP. It is a 2v4 now, an Absolute. You can see that they know they've got this round. Post plant's perfect. Positioned all around the place. And you've got Laz here over towards mid, just hearing the rotation out. Storm Rider looking to save the 2 weapons remaining. But can they get away in time? Oh, the nade. It's not going to be enough to finish him off, but it takes him down to some form of HP. And now you've got Laz taking down Nuez. And this is going to be a 13th round on the board for Absolute. 1 weapon remaining, but for how long?
Well, it looks like he'll be able to stay alive for now. Mara holding on to that UMP. I would dare say it has to be an eco at this point. They have to save. It's 13-13, Mac. It's not good signs here for Storm Riders. This could possibly be the KO, the left, the right, and the good night all combined together. Already down the map due to their own problems, and now they're going to have to try to bring this one back. CZs and a UMP to deal with what is a complete buy and utter insurance for Absolute at this point. They have cleared out B. There's information given to Storm Rider. There's an opportunity at the very least.
Look, they've equalised the money too, so they will be able to buy up into the 28th, but at the moment, this is crucial for them to win. They need to start doing damage to Absolute's economy. You can see Tarkesh as well, very low at the moment. But now the aggression coming out dry from underneath stairs. But Absolute with the contact play all the way out at Tetris. And they are going to find Nuez just swinging onto site solo. Absolutely nothing signaling that the T's have made their way out A main. And they've already caused the damage. Still up to 9. They know where he is. It's going to be Crow to get the trade onto Rita. And Crow and Laz in a 1v2 now. As 9 will go for the adventure player. It's a 1v3 actually. He's only got 1 HP. Tarkesh, I didn't spot him. I thought he was done and dusted. But he's got a little bit of dust remaining. And it's 9 now. No armor. Best case scenario, he saves another weapon for Storm Rider. But right now it's looking like Absolute finally, after all this time, taking that lead with a ridiculous showing on their T side of Mirage.
This was the problem that we were starting to point out for Storm Rider, being how heavily T-sided their Mirage is and how T-sided their entire team are. That this was always going to be a near impossible task if Absolute was starting to come back, and it has been. Storm Rider have struggled so much on their CT side for the main point of that. They literally just cannot find trades. They can't find the opening picks. When they do, they get traded out efficiently by Absolute. It's a little bit, it's kind of shambles at the moment for the CT side, but this is a little bit more interesting from Absolute. They were looking to go aggressive. They hold off for a moment though.
It's going to be Storm Rider going aggressive instead. You can see that with the double orb setup. Are they going to be able to go for the retake here? Both the A main players completely shut down, and the trade's favouring Absolute. They've got this man advantage, but can they get back into it? You know, they haven't got the site yet. They've got to get past, what is it, 1 AWP at least. It's going to be 2 as well. NCL making his way down short, but he's left that B site completely wide open. And you can see this as well, Crow looking to lurk from the top of mid. Storm Rider just completely putting all their eggs in one basket, but they are going to go for the early rotation as well after seeing nothing left at A. Absolute, you know, they're going to go for the double back as well. They haven't found anything at mid. With the amount of utility that was thrown at A as well, they know that they've definitely exhausted the utility from Storm Rider as well. So it's going to be very hard for the CTs to go for the retake if Absolute do re-exy. They've got 2 smokes, a molly, 3 flashes and a nade, and that is enough to get themselves onto the site for sure. But they've got 2 CTs that they have to get past.
It's both 9 and Sogu, but 9 just backs off the angle, starts to come back to CT, so there's a glimmer of hope. Sogu, though, do they check his angle? That's the question. Bast is hard clearing it, finds the kill, and 9 can't get anything done, finds the leg on a reader, but it's all done and dusted for the round. That is going to be match point for Absolute. After an 11-4 first half, Storm Rider will be absolutely kicking themselves. Not only do they give up their own map pick, they now are conceding map points on the 11-4 half. You almost would have written it off then and there, Mac.
It was a very odd setup that they had there at A as well. You had the, I think it was an AWP in CT, but it wasn't covering PAL, which is where whoever it was hiding in the corner was completely open. I think it was Sogu.
Yep.
And that's very unfortunate for Storm Rider, you know. Maybe a miscommunication, you know. They could have started to head towards that B side as well. But Absolute taking it to a 15th round. And this is going to be match point as well, because they've got that 1 map advantage.
This is a huge problem. Right now, Absolute, map point. This is the lower bracket grand final. And already coming into this with the map up, this is it. This is possibly the last round. And a huge problem at the moment is this happened yesterday to Storm Rider. Storm Rider had to go into MVP of all teams with a 1-0 deficit for the exact same reason. So we've got to ask the questions right now. A good team that has shown really good signs throughout this tournament are now being left with an ultimatum, more or less because of a problem that, whether it's in their control or not, they need to try and figure how to fix it. But Absolute, you could not ask for a better start. They're looking at shutting it down after that 11-4 half. I can't stress that enough. It takes the mental fortitude to even just be able to play this game out and just claw those rounds back. But Storm Rider, there's almost been no wall.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened to their defense. They are starting to warm up now. You see NCL managing to take first blood in the round, as well as News finding one before Tarkesh gets the trade over towards the A site. But now, 3v4, make it a 3v3. Mara, he's gone down over towards mid. And that will slow down the rotation. He's at underpass.
What? Oh, Laz.
Just can't connect, going for the pre-fire. Although managing to take him down to 14 HP, 9 just barely surviving. And he will just escape. But there's 30 seconds remaining. And it looks like Absolute are going to call the audible. That bomb is going... Oh, I thought it was going to go through T. I thought they were going to go to B.
Yep.
But are they going to leave it too late? Crow, he's all the way over on the B side. He's got some utility. Will this draw the rotation? Absolute. They are completely on the last-ditch effort. 10 seconds. They are going to run out of time. Manic's pretty much on the floor crying at the moment, but that's going to be the bomb spotted. So Crow, he's going to have to do some work on the flank. Molly going to the wrong position, but can the bomb be planted? It's going to be planted at the front of Triple. They've got it. Bomb's down. Orb shot's there. 9 gets the flick. Can't connect. It's all up to him, though. Doing damage, connecting onto the T's. He goes down, and we are going to see Absolute going into the grand final.
What have we just seen? What have we just seen? Start to finish, Mac. I can't even begin to explain how sporadic that entire map was. They had 3 players at A up until the last second. There was no way to deny the bomb plant. There was no retrades coming out. It all fell apart from Storm Riders basically the second that second half ticked over. I'm a little bit heartbroken for them.
I'm not sure. That late rotation, the calls as well, there was nothing really that Crow did to sell the fate completely. They saw the bomb, and then they didn't try to deny the cross to site. It's situational. I guess they wanted to try to play for the retake, but it did not work out. In the end, Storm Rider, you know, you could see, obviously, both teams on Mirage, you told me, they are T-sided, and we definitely saw it today. I honestly thought Storm Rider had it. They had such a good first half, but then Absolute, it was all off the back of that pistol. Yep. I think they strung about 6 rounds together before they lost their first in the second half. And that was just enough motivation to get their heads in the right place, to get the bloody rounds on the board, and to get that W here today.
It definitely felt the whole of the second half. Even those... The 2 rounds that Storm Rider won, it still felt like Absolute were in complete control the entire time. Like this, one of the rounds that was brought close, you know, like, it didn't even come down to individual performances. I actually think it came down to the individual mistakes. And, you know, I've had this conversation with many people before. CSGO is not, you know, like, you can't just make a mistake and that loses you the round. The other team has to capitalize on it. So the unforced errors that are coming in from the CT side, you can't take anything away from what Absolute have achieved there. An 11-4 first half to bring it all the way back, that's phenomenal. Yeah,
that is pretty ridiculous. Look, I can't remember the last time I saw such a T-sided bloody Mirage. Not for a while anyway, but do you reckon we're going to see it in the grand final?
Well, I feel like we might. We do have MVP going up against Absolute after they took this best-of-3 series in technically 1, if you want to look at it that way. It's a little bit unfortunate for Storm Riders. They're sent home packing. Absolute taking on MVP. That's where we're headed next, ladies and gentlemen, so don't go anywhere. We'll have the grand final just after this short break.